Hi everyone, this is Cem Kapancıoğlu. I'm the owner of CK Architecture Interiors based in Dubai. I would like to talk about today in design and construction industry the local and international rules of design and construction. In mostly we have done probably at least three different countries, different design and construction jobs. In most of them, we see more or less similar processes from the similar authorities, of course with different practices. But we can definitely say that in each country there is a applicable law for this design and construction guidelines. It's always good to know the basics of those laws. Of course, when you talk about the locality, the local municipalities always generally run this whole show. So we advise the designers specifically in the beginning. They get to know all the civil, architectural, also civil defense, fire and fire protection, and moreover, in general the site planning rules. They have to go and read the books, and also if necessary, if they have time for that particular place, they can visit the local municipality and ask the necessary questions for either the new construction or new design projects, or even new fit out and interior design projects. We highly recommend that face-to-face or Zoom meetings should be required by the necessary parties, because sometimes the written rules can be either can be more complicated, or it might be made very simpler in the common practices. For example, in Dubai, I can definitely say that municipalities are very strict, and they follow and also monitor the rules quite well. A typical process would be starting from the main master developer within that community. You get an initial concept NOC as an architect, and then from there you go to the same community's municipality. So master developer gives you an NOC, and then you go to, or landlord I would say, and then you go to the municipality to get a concept initial approval from the municipality, and then you go back and then do another study for again to take from the master developer a detailed design approval. In between there are NOCs from other utilities like electric, water, drainage, telecom, and also roads. You have to take those approvals also, and after that one, of course, once these NOCs are in place, you go and take a final detailed design approval from the municipality itself. Of course, in many ways there are different details needs to be discussed. If you have, for example, a very in a very high water table substructure that you have to do dewatering, thus you need to do shoring, because you might not have enough openings on the side. You have to also get additional approvals for those kinds of things, which is clearly written and guided. Of course, I think is another thing that you need to consider here is to use a local consultant from the beginning of the concept stage without having any problems. Now, let's divide the start of a building into two simple forms. One of them is the architectural design. You start with a plot. Of course, that plot has a simple rules that you need initially to do a simple pre-concept, which is the setbacks from each plot corner and boundary. It's clearly mentioned usually even in the title deed sometimes, or in the relevant master developer rule. Developers rules are kind of in line with the general or sometimes supersedes the municipality's rules in that sense. Of course, the allowable built-up area, it's very important, which does not really include the substructure, MEP rooms, and car parking areas, and the total height and total number of allowed floors with minimum, maximum clear heights. Usually, minimum clear height is given, and after that one, of course, there are some more detailed regulations like car parking regulations. How you're going to calculate the built-up area? The ones are added in the built-up area, not included built-up area. How you calculate it, etc. This changes to municipality from municipality, but at the end of the day, the best thing is, based on the understanding of you and your consultant, to submit it to the relevant authority and get feedback from them. This is a new construction. In the fit out, it's a little bit different because you enter an existing building, and that building has probably a very stiff, very strict, depending on the location, fit out guideline, which clearly addresses how you're going to follow the full process. But usually it's a similar process. You give a full-fledged design, even sometimes very detailed design, showing the existing layouts and proposed layouts in terms of architectural and MEP and structural, if you are changing. And then on top of that, you also give additional information about electric load, what you are added, what you have changed. Similarly, heat load calculations in MEP, and in general, what materials you are going to use. And obviously, a civil defense approval will be required along with the municipality approval. So we can say this is two-stage. Fit out is relatively more easy. So from the building landlord, you get an NOC, and then you get a final approval with the building permit from the municipality itself. Then after that, of course, you have to do the construction as per the rules and guidelines and apply for a building completion certificate, and the authorities come and check in their own sequence, and then you get the building completion certificate. This is the overall. I don't think most of the countries has different practices, but overall this is the practice. Sometimes the players are different, and moreover the practices might be here and there changing, but there is always a concept stage where you share your intent, and then after that one, a detailed stage and a building permit. And during the construction you have to follow certain rules and regulations, and certain things needs to be checked by the municipality. And then again, at the end of the project, for the building completion certificate, you have to get the authorities' consent. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, please shoot them. Thank you.